Thank you guys. Welcome to the podcast, episode 11. This is Iggy, and I'm your host. We have a special guest today, Andrew Wade. He's a senior chaplain at Orlando Police Department. Welcome to the show.
Bless you, Iggy.
Yes.
Glad to be with you, man.
This is the show. Either you're a lawyer, chaplain, a leader, community leader, spiritual leader, attorney, business owner, somebody who influences community to care and share. I am really glad that you're going to be part of us today.
I'm happy to be here.
And the reason we want to show the audience what it takes to be you. My first question, thank you for the service. Actually, the answer, thank you for the service and being a police officer. How long have you been doing that?
I was a police officer for 6 years, but this past March was the 38th year as law enforcement chaplain.
Oh, wow.
So.
Thank you for serving our community and keeping us safe.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So the question is, what it takes to be a police officer?
Well, I believe a police officer is more than a profession.
Okay.
It's certainly more than a job, but it's more than a profession. From my perspective, and I have many years seen officers and been a part of it, I think it's a calling. And it's a calling based on the scriptures that declare those who have authority, it's been given, the authority was not inherent with them, it was given by someone that's higher. Obviously, you have a chain of command, but even beyond that, you're talking about all authority really comes from God.
Yes.
And so officers, like other professions, but in and of itself has its unique characteristics. You know, you talk about doctors, lawyers, they can certainly look upon their profession as a calling, but certainly a police officer, it's a calling. And so for someone that aspiring for something like that, of course, that has to be a person that has a selfless kind of mindset, attitude. They got to think about more people, oftentimes other people more than they think about themselves. And in the calling, it's given to be a public servant. It's all about serving others and wanting to make a difference in the lives of people. That's the deepest level of commitment, what you call conviction, that I think is essential. It's certainly not for the money.
No, it's not.
not the kind of things that you have to deal with from day to day. But it has to have a deeper level of conviction.
Good.
So
after you've been a police officer, now you are serving as a senior for chaplain. What's your role as being a chaplain in police department?
Well, chaplains, most agencies, federal, state, and local in this country and even other countries, chaplains serve literally as spiritual advisors. They're spiritual leaders of the department. Not all agencies have them, but by and large, most of them. You're talking about over 18,000 federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies in this country, and then over 800,000 personnel in federal, state, and local level. So, but the agencies that have embraced chaplains find the value that we bring as spiritual advisors to the department, to the agency.
So you're breaking from psychological, emotional level, stress.
Yes, our
trauma.
training for our particular chaplaincy corps is not just addressing the spiritual, mental, emotional needs of officers, but we do a lot of cross-training. Many of our chaplains, we have a corps of 14 chaplains, but they have, in that corps, half of them are actually clinicians. They have their doctorates in family and life therapy. They have their doctorates in dealing with adolescents. And so they have training in what you call critical incident stress management. So we provide the spiritual aspect. That's the core of what our program is all about, our ministry program. But we also have been trained in some areas of therapy, clinical work.
Good. And my other question is, like, if there is a particular police officer that you can tell us and share with us before you took your role that changed your life and your practice and preaching? Everything, one little incidents change who we are, Do you remember that moment?
Well, in all actuality, I was in grad school at the University of Florida, and I had no intentions of going into law enforcement.
Okay.
Isn't it interesting how you end up where you thought you never would?
Yes.
This thing called life, the journey of life, can take you in some places. And my goal and objective in grad school was to certainly work in government, but more in an administrative level, more in the political arena than law enforcement. I ended up actually in law enforcement simply because of, believe it or not, the need that I had, and I couldn't find another job. I had to feed my family, but there have been several role models, individuals that have played a key role in me in that field. Once I got in it, I didn't plan to stay, but then you're looking at our county mayor now, Jerry Demings.
Okay, yeah.
I served under him.
Nice.
And then, of course, his wife. She was Congresswoman Val Demings.
Yes.
She was a chief,
Yes.
and so both of those were very instrumental in me staying.
Yeah.
I hadn't planned to stay, but their dedication, commitment. Of course, we had a common thread because all three of us are homegrown. We did not come from other states. We grew up here in this community, and so we have an investment. We have a
commitment.
We got a deep commitment to
community.
come back to people that we knew and grew up with.
Yeah. God bless you guys for that, for keeping us safe.
Thank you.
Now, as a police officer, what's the most important thing that you learn as a police officer that changed your life and who you are today?
As a police officer, you're going to find, contrary to popular demands of TV shows, police work is nothing. Believe me, police work is nothing like you see on television programs. No, but the things that actually, can change your life. For instance, I remember just shortly after my rookie year, an incident, for instance, that I got assigned to in a case of a grandson that was taking advantage of his grandmother. And he was physically and mentally, emotionally abusing her, and actually taking her money and using it for drugs. That was, I think, one of the incidents that made a profound impact on me, because I followed that case from the initial assignment of it to actually finding him and arresting him and changing that situation. She was afraid to report. She didn't want to get involved. Like most people that are abused, they hold most of their abuse inside. They're afraid. They're afraid of the consequences of them exposing the abuser. But we were able to actually alleviate that threat from our house. That made me feel really good.
Yeah. And then you serve a community.
Right. That was profound for me.
That's a purpose.
Yeah, that
was
profound. That was worth all of the hours. That was worth all of the surveillance time and trying to track him down, to just get him up and out of that house, so that she can have some freedom and some relief.
Relief, man. Finally.
Yeah.
So my other questions as a senior chaplain, if you somehow can have putting as many billboards out there, what would you write on the billboards and why?
I would write on the billboards to the public, those that we serve. I would say to them, we need you and you need us. We are the ones that stand between anarchy and civility. And right now, we are not looking too good across the landscape, as I share with you, but I talked to you about those 18,000 agencies and over 800,000 individuals like myself that are serving every day, putting their lives on the line. And they're doing their job, and they're doing it quite well. And I think the metamorphosis, if I can use that term, that we're going through, like most professions, but certainly ours in the last few years, I think it's necessary because it's going to help us who are doing our jobs to do it better. And it will weed out the ones that are making all of us look bad. They are the minority, not the majority. But to answer your question, I would say, we need you. We need John Q. Public, but then you also need us.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not just here, the worldwide. We need a good police officer who will serve community,
That's right.
protect us, because like you said, waking up in the morning, you don't know if you're gonna see end of the day, because you're putting your life online for others.
And that for me, that's a calling, because the Bible says, and I don't want to be Bible thump you, but I want to say there's no greater love.
No, absolutely.
I mean, you can say that you love a person, but there is no greater love except a man would lay down his life for his brethren.
For sure.
If you do that, then your love is not only spoken, but is exemplified.
Yes.
And you have officers that do that every day.
And love overcome hate.
Yes.
Yeah. My another question, and it's a really good question. If you could turn back to the time and talk to your 18 years old self,
That's a lot of
what
years.
would you tell him or her?
That's a lot of years, man.
But you can just put in like couple minutes, like the pinpoints.
If I could go back 18 years
Yes.
old, and I'm speaking to myself or another 18-year-old.
As yourself, but also giving advice to 18 and 19 years old, what would they expect? Because when we are in 18, 19, we don't know. We think we own the world.
Yeah,
which is not.
They're able to conquer anything. Right?
Yes.
They were invincible.
Yes, for sure.
I felt that. I know about
Yeah.
that. I think it's important, as I was sharing with you before the show, contrary to popular demand, I think our youth are listening to us more than we think. There are more that's listening and paying attention that is not. And I know that may appear because of their behavior and their reactions to a lot of things that's happening in families, in relationships, but it appears as though they're not listening. I believe that they are, and I believe that they really want us to give guidance and instructions and to mentor or to father them. I believe that. So I would say to myself, the most important thing for an 18-year-old is really to find his or her purpose and destiny in life, because that is where you will find your profession and how you take care of yourself. That is where you will find the greatest fulfillment once you coming to the knowledge and understanding of who you are and whose you are. I'm speaking spiritually here, but that's okay.
Absolutely.
But you come into the knowledge that you're not here by accident, but then you have been it has been divinely orchestrated, and you have a purpose in life, and you have something to contribute. Your life has been favored with grace, and grace with favor. And so you find purpose, and if you find purpose, you'll find identity. And when you find identity and purpose, you'll find destiny.
So now I also have a question I want to give later, like when looking the brand new police officer, people are 16, 14, 13, they want to be a police officer. What piece of advice you will give it to them?
Well, police agencies that are cutting edge, they literally expose the inner working of law enforcement to children that age and younger. Like, for instance, in the Orlando Police Department, we have several programs for youth that gives them the opportunity to come inside of the department, to participate with us in some of the things that are not dangerous for them to, but it literally gives them an inside look of what a police officer does and the kind of things that they can help, how they are able to make the community better. Police explorers, for instance, they get an opportunity to participate in events, have them out directing traffic or assisting in directing traffic. They get a chance to go to the gun range and get a chance to shoot, know how to arm and disarm a weapon. They get a chance to be exposed to a lot of inner workings of the agency. And so that would certainly give them insight to whether or not, hey, they will know better. This is something I'd like to do. I mean, I'll enjoy getting up every day. Anytime that you can get up every day and you really look forward to doing, going to work, That's not a job anymore.
It's a duty.
I mean, that's something that's a part of you.
Yeah. And my last question would be for you as a senior chaplain of Orlando Police Department, as a preacher, as a minister. What is your best tip for making the world a better place today than it was yesterday, 100 years ago, looking 200 years more down to the road?
For making the world a better place,
Mhm.
it's a very simple rule that all of us know, most of us, if not all of us. It's the golden rule. Man, it's the golden rule. You can't beat that. Do unto others
Yeah.
as you would have them to do unto you.
Good.
That one person at a time, each day, every day, the people that cross our path in life, if we can make them better, if we can help them along the way, if we would treat them as we want to be treated,
Good.
it'll be a better world.
Good. Thank you so much. This is our special guest, Andrew Wade from Chaplain, Orlando Police Department. This was a pleasure being our guest. We're looking forward to so many other podcasts down the road.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.